Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
We are
wabarakatuh.
from Group 4, and now on this special occasion, we would like to present our material that we discussed earlier about lesson plans. But before we start, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is SITI MUAZIFAH, and please, my friend, introduce yourself first.
My name is PINKAN MUHTAR.
My name is RIMAS AISYAH.
My name is RAMADHAN AKBAR.
My name is Shoidatul Syarifah.
And please, my friend PINKAN, to start present your material first.
Okay, so I will explain about pre-activity stage. The learning objective of this first pre-activity is to activate student prior knowledge and connect their previous knowledge to lesson topic before reading the dialogue. And the activity and workflow includes teacher's arrival. This is the lesson begins with teacher arrival, where the teacher greets the students, checks attendance, and prepare them for learning. For example, teacher may say, "Good morning, student. Were absent today, or are you ready to study English?" After that, we move to warm up. This is to co- connecting the topic with students' experience. So, the teacher asks simple questions related to their holiday experience, like where did you go last holiday, something like that. And then we move to picture brainstorming, which is vacation related vocabulary. And then we have vocabulary building, that collecting keywords to support the knowledge, the dialogue comprehension. After that, we have technology use, that is PowerPoint slide, which the material is about summer vacation. So I will share the material about summer vacation. This is about simple past tense and summer vacation. So we are going to look at some picture related to vacation. Please pay attention and try to think about what you usually see or do when you go to holiday. It is what I say to my students. For example, look at this picture carefully. What do you think this picture is about? And then the students may answer, it is vacation, it is beach, it is holiday, something like that. And then I will give feedback, very good, it is about vacation, something like that. And then we move to the second slide, which is brainstorm through picture. So I will look at this picture one by one. Let's start from this one. What is this? I ask like that, and the students will answer, it is beach. And I will very good, it is beach, and something like that, and go on to the other picture. And so I will close the teaching, great job everyone, now that we already have some vocabulary, blah blah blah, and something like that. So that's all from me for the pre-activity, first pre-activity. And the next is the second pre-activity to my college.
Okay, now I'm going to explain the second part of our pre-activity stage. After the initial greeting, we immediately move to the digital mind mapping phase. And the pedagogical goal here is to elicit vocabulary and activate student prior knowledge by organizing words into 6 categories, like food, activities, hotel, waiter, price, and people. We also include a predictive Q&A session to help students anticipate these question patterns they will find in the text. This entire stage uses Google Slide or PowerPoint for live interaction. And now let me demonstrate how I will deliver this in the class. Alright, student, let's play with the min map. Look at the screen, everyone. As you can see, I have 6 NC categories here: food, activities, hotel, weather, price, and people. Let's fill this out together. First, let's talk about food. When you go on holiday, how is the food usually? Yes, delicious. What else? Spicy. Good. Let me type those in. Next, what about activities? What do you usually do during summer vacation? Swimming? That's fun. Anyone? Fishing? Excellent answer. Okay, to save time in this micro teaching video, I will not demonstrate the remaining categories, which are hotel, weather, price, and people. However, in the real classroom situation, the teacher will continue to guide the student to fill out all the categories using the exact same elicitation technique until the mind map is completely full. Now, let's move to the next activity, the Q&A session and translation to main topic. Now, student, before we jump into our reading text, let me ask you a question. Imagine your friend just come back from a holiday. What question will you ask them? Anyone? Yes, you can ask, where did you go? And what else? Yes, you can ask, how was the food or how was the hotel? And today we will learn a simple dialogue about vacation. The title is My Summer Vacation. Let's write and practice together. Okay, that's concludes the pre-activity stage. And now the while activities will be explained by my partner.
Okay, so I will explain about while activities. There are two activities. The first is confirming understanding, and the second is guide comprehension. Can you show me the first confirming understanding slide, please? Okay, so the learning objective is to help students understand the content of the dialogue by identify key information. So let's go straight to the first activity. The first activity is confirming understanding. Activity steps. There are three main steps. Steps 1 is grouping, which means divide the group into two characters in the dialogue. So to manage the class and ensure everyone participates,
I will split the students into two big groups based on their sitting rows. The two right sides will read Samantha's part and the two left sides will read Tony's part.
and the step 2, choral reading, which means reading the text together aloud. Then I will instruct the student to read the dialogue aloud together according to their assigned rules. This choral reading helps lower student anxiety and build confidence in speaking. To display this text, I use a
Canva presentation.
Can you show me the slide for text? Yes. This is a slide presentation reading aloud. Here I have colored the session for Samantas and Tony's, so it's easy for students to take turns reading. So I will instruct them like, okay, student, now read each session aloud together. And after the student reading, I will talk them like, all right, good job, everyone. And then can you go back to the slide? Okay, so steps 3, quick check question, which mean to check their understanding of the dialogue. So after reading, I will provide quick check question to verify the basic understanding. I will ask students directly, for example, like who are the speakers and what are they talking about, and then student can answer together. And for assessment, in this activity, I will conduct a direct observation assessment. Will the student are doing the choral reading, I will assess their pronunciation and fluency for Samantha's and Tony's section, as well as their group participate while reading and the volume of their voice. Next slide, please. And the second activity is guide comprehension. After checking their initial understanding, we move to the next activities in the while stage, which is guide comprehension. Activity steps. There are two main steps. Steps 1 is pairing. So students into pairs. To promote collaborative learning, I will divide the student into pairs. I will instruct them like, now I will divide you into pairs. Sit with your partners to discuss. And then step 2, giving tasks. So I will provide them with a interactive worksheet. I will give to discuss and file out the specific aspect and information from the dialogue my summer vacation with their partners. For this activity, the digital tool I use is Live Worksheet. Instead of traditional paper, this platform provides an interactive digital worksheet like this. Students can directly type the information they find based on the dialogue. They need to analyze 6 specific aspects of the dialogue, such as weather, people, activity, hotel, food, and pet experience. And this tool makes the learning process more eco-friendly, interactive, and give them an innovative digital speech to work. So they can write their answer and they collect them so they can immediately check their answer and I can monitor their answer. And for the assessment, I use formative assessment via live worksheet, like I saw before, which allow me to see the accuracy of the student information that they input into the live worksheet. And then live worksheet can provide instant feedback. It allows me to monitor their data without struggling with or ring.
Right, now let me continue with the next part of the material. And the third part is about noticing language pattern. Actually, at this stage, we want to make sure that students are able to recognize the past tense verbs and question answer patterns that appear in the dialogue they have read. And for the activity steps, the first step is about guiding noticing. First, I will ask students to reread the dialogue and identify or mention any verbs they find. So instead of telling them directly, the teacher guides the students to discover it on their own. And the second step is about provocative question. So once the students have found the verbs, I will ask those provocative question like, do you think these verbs refer to the present or the past? The goal is to encourage students to think critically about the form and function of those verbs. And the third step is about pattern identification. This is actually final step, so students are asked to find the question and answer patterns within the dialogue. And then about the tools, we use annotated Google Slides. Yeah, actually, this is the Google slide that I have prepared in previous time. It contains dialogue script title, my summer vacation that my friend said earlier, a conversation between Samantha and Tony. All right, thank you, Pinkan. Yeah, I display this annotated Google slide during the lesson. I will display this slide directly to the students. I will use the highlight feature to mark the relevant parts such as simple past verbs like was. This one. For example, was blah 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 blah. Yeah, this is uh this is example that I prepared earlier. So maybe teacher will say like, please students, look at this Google slide. I have prepared dialogue script here. Now, I will use the highlight feature to mark the simple past verbs. For example, the word was. Watch carefully how I do it. After I finish, it will be your turn. You will highlight any past tense verbs or question patterns you find in the dialogue. I demonstrate first, then my students try on directly after me. Yeah, something like that. And then maybe students will answer, yes, ma'am, all right, ma'am. Yeah, something like that. Please go back to the slide presentation. All right. Next, please. And the fourth point is about mini reinforcement. So after students recognize the pattern, we have to make sure or ensure that students actually use simple past correctly by changing verbs one into their verb two form. This is the activity step. There are two, and the first step is about light confirmation. First, I give students brief confirmation first. I explain that simple past is used to talk about past experiences or events. And in English, of course, we need to change the verb one into its verb two form, something like that. And the second step is about quick check. Then I move straight into an individual check through short quiz. The purpose is to see whether each student has understood the material or not, just the ones who are focal in class or dominant during class session. And then the tools, please, Pinkan, help me to open. Yeah, actually, to check students' understanding, I have prepared quiz using Gemini AI. I created this quiz by entering prompt into Gemini AI, and the AI generated all the question and answer, following the practical guidance from Mr. Shaifuddin on using technology as a learning assistant. This is the question. Actually, there are five questions. There are five questions. Maybe the teacher will say to the students like, to check your understanding, I have prepared a quiz. There are five essay questions, and each question comes with a clue or hints to guide you. Without giving away the answer directly. You can start to work now, students. And then students will work the question by filling this quiz from Gemini AI. I think that's it from us. Thank you.
Okay, for the next slide is the post activity. For the learning objective is to retelling the result of students reading with their own language using simple past correctly. And activities and workflow retelling practice. One student retell that the story orally in the front of class, and while their partners write down the past tense verbs in Google Docs. Reflection and feedback. The teacher instructs the volunteers to retell the story and then given a feedback, reward, and motivation. For the reflection and conclusion, giving reflection what the things to learn and summarize the material that students can understand better. For the tool used is Google Docs and Mentimeter. I will share the Google Docs. The topic is my summer vacation. For the activity, retelling, and prop hunting. For the volunteers, stand in front of the class and retell the story my summer vacation using their language or their word based on the dialogue you have studied before. Try to use correct simple past rule. For the listener, listen carefully and to your friends who is retell the story in front of the class, and for the listener, uh, write down on the Google share. I share the Google Docs when I share in this table using verb to, such as when, visited, saw, or etc. that you listening for your partners. For the Mentimeter, to answer what was it easy or difficult to use the past tense, why the student the students can submit longer text responses anonymous. This ensure they feel safe to express their difficulty without fear of being judged by their partners. Okay, I think that's all my explanation, my short explanation, and thank you.
And lastly is for the TPEC reflection. Actually, our lesson plan is already related to the TPEC. So, we can see the integration of TPEC in all aspects we have. Like first, for the content knowledge, the lesson focus on simple past tense in the context of dialogue, the dialogue my summer vacation. And the second, for the pedagogical knowledge, the learning follows a pre, while, and post activity cycle. It is student-centered using pair work, guided comprehension, and also retelling activity that help students to understand and use the language actively. And the third is for the technology knowledge. We use several digital tools such as PowerPoint or Google Slides and for visual, and we have like worksheet and for guided practice, and we have quizzes and Google Doc for collaborative reflection. And overall, the integration of the TPEC allows technology to support both content and pedagogy, making the learning process more interactive, meaningful, and engaging for students. Okay, so that's all for us, group 4. Thank you for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.